Hey everybody, it's free to play Bust, starting up expedition number 157. Sunday fun day out here in America. First weekend of the old football. We gotta see how many of these games we can pop off before the games start. The game that matters already finished. The Chiefs played on Thursday, but uh, let's see what we can get done. I'm kind of interested in trying out Herald of the Dragon decks. It's rare. Like my thing with Herald of the Dragon is like this card is good, but it requires like a certain density of dragons to be good, and I don't think the density of like good dragons exists yet. Fused Firebrand is kind of whatever. Aurelian Soul is super expensive, so he doesn't really count. This is a champion we really only want to be playing one of, and it's like the only dragons we really want to be playing are the 4-cost one with Enrage, and then the 6-cost epic one. And so I'm not like super jazzed about trying to jump down this path. With these other packs, I think we'll probably take this Lulu. This is a reasonable set of units. Tasty Feyfolk is fine. Herald of Spring is kind of bad, but it does help pop off these support chains, and then Lulu's pretty good on her own. And here I'm not real interested in trying out this Hecarim at the current time. If we're going to try out Hecarim, this is a terrible set of cards to do it with. Haunted Relic and Onslaught of Shadows both pretty unplayable. And so we'll take this Collective Support Lulu. Let me take a moment and get her pulled up real quick on the website. And here on the ftpbus.com, we do have the tier list updated on the tier list page. Just the kind of the way that these end up going is if we want to find Lulu wherever her deck is, she's down here in tier 3. She's a pretty average deck pool. She is a combat-centric champion, and so we would want to pair her up with another combat-centric champion, since we'll probably be looking to be doing a lot of attacking. It pairs up with Taric as the other half of Collective Support, if you aren't familiar with the card pools. And then some of the pools that actually work out extremely well with Lulu being all of the Zeds, and then Fiora. And so if you're taking this Collective Support Lulu, kind of give you an idea of what you're looking for here, be it another Taric or a Zed or a Fiora, or just some kind of combat-centric champion in general. And then also the graphical version is up as well, if that's a little bit easier for you to digest. But nonetheless, we'll jump back to the Expedition Helper. We'll scroll down to the Collective Support Lulu. And then, in my opinion, there's really two distinct decks we're trying to draft here. The deck that I think is actually particularly good is centered on Flower Child. Just playing Flower Child and then any of the good two-cost support units just makes such a monster unit for your opponent to have to deal with. If you're able to, boost it with Young Witch, then you have this 4/2 quick attack on turn 2. And then if you're able to boost it with whatever, either Pix or with Tyrion, the guy from the Taric pool, then you have a 5/4 unit on turn 2. I tend to try to do all these supports with Young Witch, since she's typically able to attack more than one time, but you kind of fit in what you can to make things work here. Then the second kind of deck here is the Swole Squirrel deck. The reason I like to call these out independently is because what we run into is Fey Guide, Fuzzy Caretaker, and Swole Squirrel all cost 4 mana. And if we start trying to draft too many of these, then our deck just gets clogged up at the 4 mana slot. And so what we'll be looking to do is, if we're kind of looking to draft this ultra aggressive Flower Child deck, we're only going to be looking for Fuzzy Caretaker. And then if we look to draft the Swole Squirrel OTK deck, then we'll be looking for Fey Guide, but not the Caretaker. We'll also put a bigger emphasis on picking up barriers. But we'll have to see how this goes. We're going to start out with this Lulu. Those are the Lulu decks that I like, and then we'll see if someone pairs up nicely with her. Yeah, it is Taric here. I mean, that's what you're looking to pull off, and it's what I think we'll be taking here. With these otherworldly creatures, Trundle, I'm not a huge fan of this card pool, trying to do combat-oriented things. This is a reasonable card pool. This is kind of a big ramp card pool, but the only ramp card I like is Weirding Stones. Not a huge fan of Faces of the Old One. There's just not enough ways to pop off this Behold. And then over here, Heimerdinger's fine. If you're going to play Heimerdinger, this is a reasonable set to do it with. This is actually a pretty decent set since it's just kind of like as long as you're able to pick up some eager apprentices, then your early game is kind of set. You're really looking for eager apprentice, mystic shot, unlicensed innovation for your early game to stall things out until you're able to draw Heimerdinger and get him going. But nonetheless, we're going to pick up this Taric. Not real excited about these other two cards here. Both of these are pretty garbagey, but let's pull him up and see what's happening on this side of things. Taric, with him, I don't like the Stellacorn. I don't like any any of the Stellacorns actually. But what we're looking to do here, and probably what we'll end up trying to pull off, is actually building around Taric, and then we just want spells to drop onto Taric. I don't think Lulu, builds around that strongly. She's okay, but being able to use Taric to drop these Blessing of Targons into our other units is just such a much more powerful thing to be building around. But the thing we'll be looking for here is not Broadback Protector. Mentor of the Stones is just one of the all-around fantastic support units. This +2/+2 is permanent. We'll also be looking for Tayari the Traveler. This +2/+2 is permanent. I do think he's a little bit worse than Young Witch, but we do need to be hitting 5 or 6 of these 2-cost support allies, and you gotta do what you can with what you're given. And so we'll be looking to really stack up on the bottom end of our curve. The things that I don't really want anything that costs more than 4 mana. Outside of, we'll be looking for a couple Blessing of Targons, and then we'll look for expensive epic-y kind of spells. But in general, we need this deck to be ultra aggressive, and so we're going to do everything we can to keep our curve low. Another thing, as we called out with these these 4-cost cards here, we're going to be looking to build around Taric, who costs 4, and so we don't really want too many of these 4-cost cards in the Squirrel, the Caretaker, the Fey Guide. Then you're also looking at Taric, you're looking at the Barrier Lifesteal card. We really need to be mindful of our 4-drop slot when drafting these support decks. Okay, here, most of these cards are pretty trash. Not gonna lie. Jeweled Protector I don't like outside of elusive decks. Stellacorn's pretty unplayable, and here we're just gonna be stuck taking Pix and Whimsy. Pix is okay. He's not fantastic. He only really plays well in these kind of chained support decks to where on turn 4, if we have that Squirrel that supports 2 different directions, or if we have the Epic card that runs support chains, that's where Pix is reasonable. But it's just super easy for our opponent to value block if we don't have any good interaction with this. I mean, Pix hangs out with Lulu, and you're supposed to turn him into a 4/4, but that's kind of hard to pull off sometimes. And we certainly want 1 Whimsy. If we can't find 1 Whimsy, then we'll want 1 Sunburst, but this is a pretty reasonable start down that path. Okay, interesting. There is the Kinku Wayfinder that we can use to pop off with Blade Scouts and Pix. I do want to call out, I do think Navori Blade Scout is much better than it used to be, especially when we're playing these support decks, since you can play it on the first turn, get this kind of unimpeded attack in, and then if we're boosting it with Young Witches or Tyrions, then it's a great little upgrade. But I think we're good to take the Crescent Guardian Duskbringer here. We're getting a 1-drop either way. I think this Crescent Guardian is one of the premier 3-drops in the format, since Overwhelm is so important. And we're going to be pretty even on our cards, where this Wayfinder is just not particularly good. So we're getting a 1-drop either way. We might as well pair it up with the other powerful cards. Here, Cygnus is kind of fine. These elusives aren't permanent, and so I'm not real excited about him, with the Stellacorn being trash. Zenith Blade is okay. It's something that we're going to want to be picking up at least 1 copy of here, since it does play particularly well with Taric. I shouldn't say 1 copy. We're going to want at least 2 of these so that we can play that and continue to draw them. So we're going to take this Radiant Dawn pack. I think Moondreamer is kind of like as good as it gets for top end. It's just able to, I don't really want to be playing expensive cards like Cygnus. I'd rather be playing Moondreamer and then just drawing expensive cards if we need them. So we'll snatch these up. Okay. Interesting. Like the Priestess Protector is what we're really looking for here. This is awkward. Like, we're not really going to be doing this support thing. We've gotten too far in the draft and not found any of the 2-cost support units. And so we're going to have to, like, kind of move into a more mid-rangey, most certainly focusing on Taric kind of deck. And so to that end, I don't think I'm quite ready to just give up on the support theme. The Duskbringer is fine even if we aren't in that support theme, and so I think we're going to just take the 1-drop here. But we do have to really keep in mind that we don't have any of the 2-cost cards, and so we might be moving more towards kind of a, it sucks to pass on the Nightfall Priestess if we're going to be moving towards a Nightfall theme, but I think this is kind of like the breaking point as to if we're going to be able to pull this off or not. Okay, here we certainly can't take Caretaker. We don't have enough supports. We do want this Tayari, though. Our 4-drops haven't gotten, super out of line, and so the Protector should be okay. Right. Here, this is the only reasonable set. The Shield Breaker is a fine 2-drop. This is our preferred top end. And a lot of these cards over here are garbage. We don't want anything to do with these Enlightenment cards. We don't really want 4-drops unless we have to take them. And then the Sigil's just bad. So it's a pretty easy 2-drop plus Moondreamer. Okay. Here's a second Tayari for us. That'll work for us. It's our first combat trick. I don't really prefer Pale Cascade, but it does play particularly well with Taric. I'd rather have 0 of these, but picking up 1 is fine. And then I think Tayari is a little bit more important to pick up than the Gift Giver, although he does give us, another a gem to cast with Taric. It's just I think the support unit's a little bit more important here. Okay, well, got more of these 1-drops. I think we're fine to just keep going down this path. 2 Moondreamers is fine. Don't want either of these, so this is a fairly easy pickup. Okay, this is unfortunate. I would really love to have this Gift Giver and the Shadestalker, but I think it's just too important to pick up our second Zenith Blade, and it does show up with a one of the premier 1-drops. The Soldiers, it's a fantastic 1. And so it sucks to pass up on the Gift Giver Shadestalker, but the Zenith Blade is too important, especially when paired with a 1. Okay, here we go. Here's a Young Witch with another 2, really helping up our 2-drops in our curve. Would love to have these 2s over here as well, but the Young Witch is just like the actual premier 2-drop. Okay, interesting. I'm not like big on Sunblessed Vigor, but it is fine, and especially it's a permanent boost that plays reasonably well with Taric. I don't really want to pick up a 3rd Moondreamer. I would be okay with 3, but I'm not like real excited about it. And this Sunburst, it just give us kind of a second deal with anything removal spell, which is what I think we're pretty happy with here. Our spell count's pretty low, our unit count's kind of high. And so picking up the 2 spells here kind of helps balance out what we need in our deck. Okay, here's a real one. Ideally, I would prefer to have these the 1 and the 2, but I think I just want to take Young Witch here. We're looking pretty good on our 1-drops as it is, and then she's just way better than Tayari. It's also kind of important to pick up I'd really like to have either 5 or 6 of these Tayari Young Witch, so if we could pick up 1 more of these kind of cards, that would be pretty ideal. Greenglade Elder, he's not fantastic here, but I mean, we do have like 21 units in our deck, so we should find a turn where we're able to use this. Okay, don't want Mountain Scryer. Probably never going to hit that Allegiance. Stand United would be a reasonable pickup. I'm pretty low on Resplendent Stellacorn ever being any good, and I'm pretty happy with these like 2 Moondreamers. If we picked up like 1 or 2 more Invoke cards, then our top end would just be like super set. We didn't take any of the Nightfall Invoke cards, but I think that's okay. But the Stand United, like, I'm not sure if we'll ever really be able to pull this off. I'm curious how that plays with Taric. On only me. Okay, I was like, what the hell does Stand United do with Taric? Are your units just all like swapping around and everything? But I think can hang on to the Herald. It's not great, but this is a reasonable ability to have. I don't really like stacking up on Pale Cascades either. 2 is more than enough. So yeah, let's just pick up the Stand United. Okay. I don't think we're going to make it through this run before kickoff. We'll have to see. You'll probably see me roll back here with a different shirt on. I may find some time to get this in, or we'll just goose egg this run. You know, you never know how this stuff's going to pan out. But here, nonetheless, I'm interested. This is typically my problem with Greenglade Elder is like we want to be playing a 1 and a 2, and then by the time the Elder rolls around, we've already spent two units that we can't be giving bonuses to. So here, what I think we want to do is just get rid of all of these and hang on to the Duskbringer. Maybe should have hung on to our 2, but I think this is okay. Through the perfect unit and the Crescent Guardian as well.
Only a fool would enter battle unprepared.
Let's go ahead and get this out of here. This shuffles him into his deck. This is the top 3 guy. And then I doubt we ever run into Tall Tales, but just go ahead and get it out just in case. Drawing Zenith Blade sucks. Sure. We're at least going to get a big open blast on him next turn, so that's at least one of the perks here.
Temperamental as moonlight.
I don't think we can dirtle around with these Zenith Blades. I think we need to just punch in now, and then
no more hiding.
we can play 1 post combat. Sure. Yeah, given our Daybreak status, it doesn't quite matter the order. So I think we're okay to bank here. Need to be giving give Lulu Overwhelm now. Sure. Okay.
Here is.
Don't want to stack up on her too heavily, but I think we're okay to Zenith Blade. We do have a little bit of protection in these combat tricks should we need to play them, and then we're getting in a big another big open next turn.
Let's use all the colors. Up we go!
Sure. You're pretty good to just add in Moondreamer and see where that gets us. I think we probably want a Falling Comet. We have to assume that we can't pop this thing, but we have to kind of assume the way this is going to go is he's just going to play a gigantic unit next turn. We're going to try to pop it with Falling Comet, and then from that point forward, we'll just have a huge open attack next turn. So let's go ahead and Zenith Blade this thing. Give us another big Overwhelm, because the idea we're at this space is if he starts to play just like a bunch of like the 1/2 and 2/1 and invoke units, then we'll need to be overwhelming through his board. Sure. I don't think there's any units that like we're super scared of for 5 mana. So let's just let this happen. We'll add White Flame Protector and then just open on him with a full board. We'll have access to some combat tricks. Yeah, I don't really want to be popping this with an Obliterate. The unfortunate thing here is we're not going to be lethal next turn.
It's not a rope, it's a snake. Whoa, dizzy. Flipify! Tell me a story.
Okay. Let's do this. We need to protect our unit here. Want the Pale Cascade here. That's the extent of what we got.
Teeth big as tombstones.
Okay, and I think we'll go ahead and add in Taric. Like we don't have any like real big units to add here. So like at worst we can always flip out this Duskbringer if we need to. Love to see him just drop 10 mana on a unit we can obliterate. Right, which one's this? Gonna kill half our team? Nothing we can do about it.
New stars will have new stories soon. Lulu! Where'd she go?
Please, Dad.
We need to overwhelm for 1. Like as it stands, we can do it. We can pick up our young witch, make her a 3 attack elusive, and then hopefully get in enough overwhelm damage with these other duders. Let's see, and we're still good to just obliterate something. We probably need to obliterate just pretty much anything here. So I mean, it sucks to drop it on Babbling Bjerg, but I don't... Like, we may be able to win if it comes around to like a second attack for us, but I'd say it's pretty unlikely. Fine to just block this with a unit that doesn't have overwhelm. Sure.
Your fate has been decided.
Okay. Let's see if he's got another gain 5 life here.
Come on, Rib! Slash dash!
Oh man, we're gonna be one short. Is he gonna have another gain 5? Okay. Oh, okay, you got all the cards. Is that enough? Oh god. Okay. I guess this one's done for.
So many stars.
Looks like I'm ready.
Bye-bye.
Let's do it, big guy.
I wonder if we missed a damage somewhere. That's the way these always go when you get them so low. Like, did we miss a damage somewhere? Oh god. If he doesn't open on us, we can pop this? Pablo Escobar is going to get too clever. Oh, snap. I thought that was how that worked. I was needing to check it out in a previous video if you could sunburst a spell shielded unit. I didn't know if like the silence would count and then you could pop them for the damage, or if you could silence through spell shields. I didn't think it was how it worked, but you know, we've learned now. So let's see here. I think I'd prefer Shadestalker to Protector just to push our curve down. We aren't playing Leona, so I mean, Ravoon is still good in this kind of deck, but he's not like a. I would rather have a Moondreamer than a Ravoon, right? He does come down to make a card and do some. You know, we have a non-zero number of daybreaks with things like Zenith Blade, but again, I think like these Shadestalkers are probably just better than White Flame Protector. The Tasty Fae Folk is more aggressive than this, and so I'd prefer to keep it. The Shadestalker and Duo are probably pretty equal in power level in this kind of deck. This isn't a deck that really takes advantage of Greenglade Duo with like, you know, playing Zed and getting extra boosts out of it. So pick up the Shadestalker. It's unfortunate. I mean, we got him to burn a catalyst of the Aeons for no health. Then he gained a 12 that game. Just got him one short. When you get him like that, we had to have missed something along the way somewhere. Could have Zenith Blade something different or something. Let's see. He's full Targon. You can keep the one. We have to have a one. Just look for our better units along the way. Thanks.
Bless the faithful and sear the heretics.
Okay, we'll trade if he wants to trade.
No mercy for heretics. Warriors in. Unyielding light.
Okay, we're not going to open here. Like, how greedy do we want to get as far as dropping Tayari goes? If he didn't have a 2, like what 3s do we care about? And he's full Targon. Like most of them just have like 2 health.
Together,
I'm gonna greet it, boys. Beautiful, beautiful. The big issue we're going to run into against the Scout's deck now is assuming he's going full Invoke, as we don't have a lot of Overwhelms and we don't have a lot of Elusives. Like we've got these two, like we don't have like a 0 number of them, but
the heart and lights the way. No time to rest.
It's tough for us to actually break through. Rousey didn't want any block.
The dawn has arrived. With its light, sunlight will unite the heavens.
Clad in shining sunlight.
Answer to me.
Okay,
Fall, heretic!
interesting. That's
Carrots can fly,
this is
Rib!
a pretty big open. But I think we're good to just open and then play Moondreamer afterwards.
Come on, Rib!
Do it like this.
Devotion through battle.
Back, heretic.
Should have like a big select, or he has a 4/5 or a 6 that he can play here. I'm sure that he probably picked up something on curve. Well, the card he would probably want to take in this situation is Golden Sister, the thing that makes a 4/3 lifesteal, 4/3 elusive, which he would be playing next turn. So if we don't see like a Celestial come down here, I have to assume that he's going to try to Golden Sister next turn. Sure.
A blade forged with blessed sunlight. To shine like the sun, you must burn like it.
Not a huge fan of just going down the value line here, but I think this is okay. We're just looking to play Lulu next turn. Written in the Stars was his choice? Sure. We just picked up Taric. Let this get a little awkward. I do want to play.
Unyielding light.
I think this will just be okay.
Glorious light rains down.
I don't think he'll have enough Daybreaks to just like pop us next turn.
Where are you going, Pix? What are you doing? Ooh, the mouth flower.
Like we're gonna get this flipped Lulu. Then next turn we can play
There's nothing
Taric
a
Zenith
stick
Blade.
jiggle can't fix.
Um,
Ooh, look what I did!
Sure.
Please turn me back.
But it's like, do we even need to? Let's pass. I'd like to. He's probably going to attack here. I'd like to block with something, so we don't just lose out on a unit when we play Crescent Guardian. And then next turn, I guess we're okay to actually just play Taric Zenith Blade, so that we can spread out these overwhelms.
Never submit.
Maybe we don't really need to. Is it better to just open? Like we can play a Zenith Blade now. Like that. I think we want to go about it like this. Or let's do this. Let's give up on this guy if we're doing anything.
No giving up.
So close.
We should have blocked with 2 if we were just going to play Taric.
It's Pix!
Does this go otherwise? Taric blocks here. Leona blocks here. This thing blocks whatever we have. Make a 4. We can just get in for 4 with this. Not real jazzed about how we ran this one out. Let's do this. Let's get
A mountain
Taric.
divides us. I've climbed bigger.
Get blown out by. Okay, that's
We rise.
not the end of the world. How does he copy? Copy the last spell. So, want to do it like this. Give barrier.
Pix makes perfect.
Sure. Okay, I think this is reasonable. Still not quite sure if we should have opened there, but
Constellation.
seems fine.
Dazzling.
This way. Go.
Sure that pans out right. Okay. Plays the card we
Unyielding.
want. That seems greedy. Sure.
Pix power.
Warriors of the Raharak, our time is now!
We'll follow you to the edge of daybreak.
Oh, I thought that was one of those like the day things. This is okay.
Vroom vroom.
As long as he doesn't have that celestial thing that kills, that hits all of your units for 3, or kills all of your 3 attack units, then I think we're okay. Wait, let's do it like we did the previous turn, where we wanted to get some blocks in here before we just replace our units. Sure.
Sunlight blinds.
To protect all.
Burn away doubt.
Devotion through battle!
Okay. So I mean, we're pretty happy to just block with these two. We can play both of our invoked units. Let's just put him down in front of whatever has the
You
most
cannot
health,
sway me.
or the
Tell
most
me
attack.
a story.
He's tapped out, so we're not going to die to this attack. We fall to 1. Okay. I don't think there's a invoke way to just deal damage to face.
So many stars.
No greater gift than knowledge.
Okay, none of these are exactly what we're looking for. I don't think we'll ever play the Immortal Fire. Probably just want the Messenger to make blockers with.
Thank you, Taric, for everything.
I was only one of many who believed in you.
It's Pix.
Okay.
Get him, Pix.
This to
Shatter
look
them.
something like this.
Whoa, dizzy.
I recall my training.
Not the correct one. There we go.
Look within.
Let's get him in there.
Never submit. To preserve beauty and protect all life.
And hugify.
Okay. A little sloppy, but we got there in the end. A little sloppy.
Victory is a thing of beauty.
This is, again, awkward. It's like I'd like to pick up these Tarics, but we don't. Like, we have 0 Blessing of Targons as it is. Well, here's one. Speaking of things that we're looking for. Ooh, there's also a Mountain Sojourners down here. I don't think we can go down this Leona path, even though the Sojourners are extremely powerful. These boosts are permanent. And so it's like, if we attack with this into Young Witch, into anything, and giving +4/+4 across the board is just massive, massive, massive. But I think this Taric is just more on theme to what we're trying to pull off here. Okay. Get here, the Trundle Nocturne. Seem like two friends that don't play well together. Let's see. Seems like a reasonable thing. This Dust Petal Dust is only for units, and so it's not nearly as exciting with these Pale Cascades, but otherwise this is a reasonable curve. Trying to decide if there's ever a world where we just go for the Green Glade Elder. I don't think there is.
Lunari,
We
rise!
technically don't have to play anything this turn. We could play it. This feels so bad.
These old eyes still see far and clear.
Let's just get damage on board.
My
I am.
protects me.
I was gonna say, if we're gonna make a Zenith Blade play, then we should have just we should have played a Shade Stalker.
No more hiding.
Look out for Reavers.
You got it.
Light
The Reavers have been looked out for. I think we need to just go ahead and get Elder down now.
What would you wish to learn?
Get the big boost. Said no one ever. That is not, indeed, not the big boost.
What did we catch?
Sure. We can deal with that next turn. We can whimsy that down.
I'll become who I was always meant to be.
What will you have?
Sure.
Invisible to the ignorant.
We're good to just eat that. I don't think. I mean, we could have put the Elder in front of it, but yeah, it doesn't seem too spectacular. He doesn't quite give enough health to be interesting here, but I think like we just have to open. So how's this gonna go? Like, I think we just need to boost him. But then he just puts a 3/3 in front of this. It all seems awful.
Whatever the cost.
Just get the one in. Oh god. Okay. Oh shit. It's like, oh god. What else are you gonna say whenever they play Troopa Elnix? Let's just do this. Let's go ahead and get our bigger boy down. And I'm pretty okay with putting Tayari in front of something, whimsying down this Yeti, and then having good attacks next turn. How bad is this if we get hit, like with any combat trick? It's not the end of the world.
No giving up.
Okay, this way if he has like a Fury of the North, then we still lose that combat either way. But putting this guy in front of him, if he plays the like an Elixir of Iron, then we still survive in a way that we're happy with.
should do this.
For truth.
You did your work, Tayari. We appreciate that. Hey boy. Those 7. Okay. I think we just want to go over value here.
Oh, that's my favorite too.
There's just nothing we could do about that Asgar, so I don't want to be just deploying like these units that he's just gonna hook a kill and kind of be done with. Let's add the Traveler at this point, then we should be able to get Taric down next turn. Continue up the value, please.
Ever.
Yes, wreck ice and flesh!
Blood on the snow.
Interesting. Just run a 4-3 into a 3-5. Like it's clear something's up there, buddy.
Brothers.
This is scary, boys. This isn't a day broken one. Yeah, it seems like if he had a combat trick, he would just attack with everything. Okay. And we're out of Zenith Blade, so hitting a Daybreak here is not a huge deal. Let's add in Taric and a Zenith Blade Taric.
I would have gladly shone a light for you to follow.
Sure. That makes things a little awkward. Ever just go for it anyways? I don't think so. I think I like this a little bit more. Let's make a beefier blocker here. I don't think we're in quite in a spot where we need to Herald a Spring into him. Just the unfortunate thing is like we have a tough time getting these things off the board. Yeah, I don't think we can quite deal with his bigness here. We're too far behind with what our deck's good at doing.
On the trail.
Okay, I mean, this is the easy one.
Leave me no recourse.
Like these are the 2 units that we really need to be protecting. So let me do this and
As
this.
foretold.
Reconsider.
Think
Take
before
6.
you strike.
That'll work. We doubt a Battle Fury anyways. And then we can gain like infinite health next turn if we don't actually die here. Yep.
Come back next time.
My journey ends.
The final lesson.
Okay.
Outrageous.
So let's see here. Certainly don't want a Stellacorn. Kind of interested in Greenglade Duo. Now that we have like the 2 Sunbursts, Whimsy's much less important. And as you can see in that last game, it's just like being aggressive is top priority here. If we'd been able to be just a little bit more aggressive, we could have probably taken that one down. So I think we're happy to have the Duo, even if it's just getting in for 3 elusive damage, and that's okay. I do think that the 2/3 Nightfall elusive is probably better than Greenglade Duo in this deck, but I mean it's the difference between, like, you know, if we're on a 10-point scale, one's an 8, one's an 8.5. It's not a big difference between the value we're getting out of them. Off we go. This guy also forgot his new cards. Happens. Interesting to see built over in here. Wonder what that amounts to. Nonetheless, we need cheaper things. We'll just get rid of all this. Some cheaper things have been found.
Let's get him, crew. Ready?
We probably just have to start out with Young Witch. Since we don't have the 1-drop to boost, I have to imagine that there's just too many plays that trade with this thing.
Carrots can fly, Rib.
Okay. Ow.
Zoom.
We'll see. We're gonna take some hits here, but we can just jump right back in this with Tasty Fey Folk, making this a 5-attack quick striker is pretty beefy on the damage front. And how much do we care about actually dropping this Lulu? And I don't think like we're really excited about her until the next attack. So let's just do this. Let's just play a second Young Witch. We'll play Fey Folk next turn, and then should be able to kind of turn this race around.
Hang on,
Sure.
Fuzzball.
Hey,
Do we ever Zenith played one of these? Like, he's gonna get the opportunity to just play a unit anyways. So we're never gonna win this combat against the Greenglade Duo.
Look, Rib, just what we needed.
Eggplant?
hello, lady.
Hello, Frog. Hello.
Oh shit. That's not awesome. Okay.
Who says I don't share?
My magic.
Oh, you gotta get in there, friend.
This way. Go. Who dares swims?
It's not the end of the world, but we are pretty far behind on board now. I mean, at least turning this into 4/4s isn't the end of the world.
Safety will cost you.
Sure. Andy hit? Oh boy. Oh boy. Love seeing the 3 faction decks at their allegiance. I guess it is what it is. Are we like ever blocking any of this? I don't think we are. I want to play Zenith Blade, Shadestalker, Duskbringer. We can get all of this down, and then next turn I do want to play both Lulu and Tayari. So let's start with this. We're just going to eat this 6 here, that's fine. See what he does. I mean, we can reasonably block this Twist Fate. He really only has a good attack with the Grifter.
Seize the opportunity.
Sure. And this lets us kind of switch our attack from Lulu boosting this to Lulu boosting something else, and then using Tayari to boost this.
Night flowers upon my blade.
I want to just go ahead and burn this. Let's see, we're gonna have 6. Be 1 short of where we would need to be. Okay,
Mother
hang on to it for
veil
now.
me.
Ours is the one true light.
Okay, let's get this full board and get in here. We can't flip our... Oh, we can flip our Lulu. We won't get the bonus card, but we can make her a 3/4, which may be tough for this guy to interact with.
Yeah, you don't want to cross.
Oh my god, he hit both? Or are those just warning shots going to his hand? I couldn't quite catch if those were warning shots or not.
Reaching the peak will change everything.
There's nothing a good giggle can't fix.
Lulu!
Lulu!
Lunari, rise!
Loopify! Go Pix! You fly on, you cute little smush ball!
This works for me. If he has some kind of combat trick to take down the Lulu, then whatever. But if this is, you know, without a combat trick, it's really, really tough to interact with this attack.
Take it up with my friends. You made choices.
Don't make me flamigify you!
You got something? Okay, that's fine. That doesn't win a combat, it just makes him not lose it. And this is a pretty non-interesting unit, so this is a pretty big hit for us. Cool. I mean, I don't really want to interact with this Twisted Fate. We might have to. I mean, this is like a turn where we're probably dropping Sunburst.
It's Pix!
Almost definitely dropping Sunburst, but it's just kind of unfortunate to have to drop it on Twisted Fate.
My faith protects me.
Get him, Pix!
Let's go ahead and lead with this. I don't feel like we're going to need the silence out of this. We can just hit whatever for 6 damage. Then if he passes and we just end up banking into our turn, I'm pretty okay with that as well. Like, super worried about the damage, but this is like the best unit he has. Let's just go ahead and pop it. Right, we're just going to heal through most of this damage next turn. You should have perhaps given something overwhelm. This seems fine. Sure.
Pix power! Pix makes perfect! They won't like this.
It's our time!
Okay, let's see how that goes.
Up we go!
Again, probably it's not going to be lethal, but he's going to have to essentially give up his whole board and not have
the
winning
rush,
combats here. Give him the slow burn.
You cannot
This is
sway
kind of
me.
that thing. Like we could have given, you know, Tayari overwhelm with the Zenith Blade or something, but chose not to.
Easy.
Sure. Okay. You got it. So we will need to sunburst this down now.
Now this game's heating up.
He's not as scary. He's going to be out of cards, so he can't really pop off this Twisted Fate. Why he spent so many warning shots before this turn, I don't know.
yours.
We will be free.
Always on the run.
Okay, seems reasonable. I mean, we probably could have won the game this turn. We might have given our opponent a bit of extra time, but it seems like this was okay.
It's Pix!
Only fools play the hand they're dealt.
Okay, so the way this should go is whenever he plays these cards, they go in order. So it should be gold card, red card, blue card. So I do need to protect both Lulu and the Fey Folk. So I think we probably want to go about it this way. I want to give this barrier. It's gonna get hit twice, but then if he has 2 cards, I don't really want to be losing this Lulu. So I think we want to go ahead and give her this health boost. Then we'll be able to add Moondreamer here.
Together, we can do this.
Oh, it does go in that? I thought it went this way. Gold, red, blue. Kind of want the Trickster, but we can't quite play it, so we'll just take Golden Sister.
Constellations are stories in the sky.
Wanted to just get some kind of elusive down here.
Glory.
Okay.
I'm a people person.
Boy, let's see. Let's see if he can red card us. Did he just red card? It goes to gold now, right?
Going harvesting.
Okay.
Lady Luck is smiling.
I've got us covered.
Seem like choices. So the next one has to be gold card, right?
As foretold.
You leave me no recourse.
I don't understand. This seems really spewy. Unless he would have like 2 cards, right? But if he plays another card, it should be gold carding down our Mayfolk. Okay.
Hold it, partner.
I grow back.
Just begun.
Sisters.
Okay.
Hex power!
Daylight Star will rule the skies.
And see if we can get the Silver Sister through.
We'll see who feasts tonight.
Nope.
Soak it in.
Okay.
Let's use all the colors. Change your mind.
Reel him in.
Came a long way for a bullet.
Let's see if we ever get to take advantage of this board. This is really awkward that we didn't go for that win like 4 turns ago. But it's like we keep grinding out like a water board than him, but he has so many cards he's able to go through it. Sure. Yeah,
I'm a people person.
I think we're gonna be able to win this now. We just have to. We have like random elusive. We got a Green Glade duo. We're just gonna have to try to open attack with an elusive or something.
Give it a whirl.
Do you still have this Moondreamer to steal it with? one of my favorite late game top decks in the Greenglade Elder.
Close your eyes and drift away.
Yeah, we're pretty
Soak it
screwed.
in.
This Crescent Guardians can do a bit of work as well. They can't get through the Smooth Soloist though.
No, please.
Want to go ahead and add. Probably need to add Elder because at least shuts this attack down.
Traditions are lost if not passed on.
Looks like trouble.
I will teach you.
Alright, let's see if we draw one of these fancy game winners here.
Optimal outcome achieved.
Nope. Nope, we did not. So, we probably, let's see, probably a mistake to just pass here. This is real awkward though, because I don't want to be putting stuff on the board just to have it get Twisted Fate carded down.
Welcome.
I think we have ways out of this.
Eyes open.
We'll just let him open.
Function call. Celebrate.
We need him to be making big mistakes here, and
All or nothing.
that's gonna do it. But damn, I feel like we had to have won that last game. We got like our board cruising, and we got so close to it. Maybe we should have gotten just like a little bit more aggressive, or we should have gone for that Zenith play instead of the Sunburst play. We threw a 3/4 in front of a Twisted Fate when it was clear it was going to get combat tricked down, so we didn't have that unit to get around next turn. Like we probably should have won that game, but we just we didn't play quite as perfectly as we needed to there. But nonetheless, I think these decks kind of turned out okay. I think this kind of style of deck will turn out to be a little bit better once the card swap happens here on Wednesday, when the Call of the Mountain cards are a little less frequent. This deck, it's okay, but it does struggle a bit with the invokes, because it doesn't have any real way to just plow through them. You have to just kind of try to like value through them, and it's pretty tough to do. But nonetheless, like things like Tasty Feyfolk, I think will be going up a bit in value once the format normalizes back out a bit. Because when we're playing these decks to where, if we like in that last game we played where our curve was a Young Witch attacking on her own on 2, then Lulu on 3, and then whatever on 4. That whatever on 4 often has to be this Tasty Feyfolk because you fall so far behind. But nonetheless, it does give you a pretty powerful board if you're able to survive to that point, when you have the Lulu making something a 4/4, and then the 4/4 making sure the Feyfolk can survive a combat for a couple rounds. Really helps you make up for those early combats that you couldn't interact with or pick up. But nonetheless, I do like how this came together. The things that we're missing here are with like this style of deck. This is the way I kind of like these to look. Immediately just kind of jump down to the top end where I want 3 Tarics. I do want 2 Blessing of Targons, and then 1 or 2 Sunbursts, and then 2 or 3 Moondreamers. We really want Moondreamer to be the top end in these decks, and then we want epics beyond that, whether or not that's the guy that gives the supports to give +2/+2, or die and put gems in your hand. The guy that support chains +2/+2. All those units are fantastic. But like we see this very frequently in the decks that I preach about drafting, to where our top end is very, very select, and that here we really want 2 Blessing of Targon, 2 Moondreamer, 1 or 2 Sunburst, and then we just want epics, and this is something you're very frequently going to run into. But as far as these support decks themselves go, the things that we're also lacking a bit here, I do like to have 5 or 6 of these kind of 2-cost support units, and then I don't like picks. sometimes it's going to be required, but frequently not. We don't like Pix. We don't like Herald of Spring. We will have to take these sometimes, but if we don't have those Mountain Sojourners or the 4-cost Squirrel that supports down the line, we really don't want Pix or Herald of Spring. And then here we do want more 1-drops. The Dustbringer's fine, Solari Soldier's fine. We just want something to fill out this 1-drop curve, because like even with that that game we just lost there, if if we had been able to add a 1-drop and then on turn 2, we got to make a support attack for like an additional 3 damage, that would have closed out the game even through our mistakes. So kind of awkward there, but I think that's kind of the key to these decks here are we kind of want 6 to 8 1-drops or so. Then we want 5 or 6 of these support 2-drops, and then from that point forward, all that we're really looking for is 2 Blessing a Targon, 2 or 3 Moondreamers, 1 or 2 Sunbursts, and then you can kind of just fill in your curve from that point. Mainly looking for some kind of combat tricks that play well with Taric, and then some kind of way to interact, be it more Sunbursts or Whimsies or Will of Ionias, whatever you have to kind of deal with your opponent's things. And so, all in all, not an ultra successful run, but I was happy with how this one turned out. I've drafted this support deck a few times. I haven't been posting the videos because I feel kind of awkward drafting them and not feeling like much of an expert on them. I feel closer to expert than not drafting these support decks now, and this is pretty close to how I like them to look. We at least got to call out the things where this looked good and this looked bad. But that's going to do it for this run. I think there's some rewards on here that we'll go ahead and go click on, and then we'll call it a day. Let's see here, Shards of the Mountain. You can put Shards of the Mountain in your Taric deck. It's pretty good. Oh, what's that? Is that the end of that? The rewards sneak up on me. I'm too used to just clicking through them. Here's one of the big champions. Get there. What up, Leona? Look at these, all these epics. I'm really ready to get these decks with Invalius Vox. Fucking bonkers in Expedition. That is that. Here's as though there may be a weekly chest on here. Damn, you guys get it all this week. So strange seeing core set cards that I'm not full on yet. Really wanted that Ancient Crocolith for my collection. It has to be just as bad and constructed as it is in Expedition, right? That card, if there's like a single card you do not want to be playing in Expedition until the format rotates, it is Ancient Crocolith. Just having it come down and your opponent invoking an Obliterate card is pretty painful, especially when the Daybreak Obliterate gets a 4 to 6 cost card, or the Daybreak Invoke gets a 4 to 6 cost card, and Obliterate costs 6. But there we have it for this run. I hope you guys enjoyed what you saw there. Maybe had a good time, maybe learned a little bit along the way. All the usual things that we hope for with these runs. But we're going to call it there. This is Free to Play Bust, and we thank you for being here.